We are back, and Karan is going to share with us this morning exactly why we chose to partner with CosmosID and what makes them so fantastic.
Yeah. So, all right, we're called Microbiome Labs, right? So when we decided, okay, it's time for us to take the step towards providing somebody with, or providing the marketplace with a truly useful, functional microbiome test, we of course decided to partner with the best of the best in this field. What's really important to know about microbiome analysis is it's not enough to understand who's there in terms of what species are present, but it's mostly important to understand who else is there, right? It's the community structure and it's the ecosystem that really determines function. You could have one strain A, one strain B, one strain C, and in of it themselves, they don't necessarily provide a unique function, but their function is determined by the other strains that surround them. Bacteria pretty much always live in community structures, right? Bacteria depend on one another, and what a bacteria does or makes or metabolizes depends on what other bacteria are around it. So that kind of complexity in understanding microbial ecology and community structures can only come from a global leader in microbial ecosystems. And that person is Rita Caldwell, and that she's the founder of CosmosID. So let me talk a little bit about her. Let me share my screen and a slide. Now it looks like when I go into full screen mode, it blanks out for some reason. I'm not sure what's happening, but so I'm gonna keep it in non-full screen mode. But you can see the slide, right?
Perfect. Yep. Sure.
On Rita? Okay. So just a quick biography on her. I mean, one of the most impressive career scientists I've ever met. Of course, she's an environmental microbiologist. That is the key. So there's lots of different kinds of microbiologists out there who have lots of expertise in very specific areas. What's really important here is that you have somebody that specializes in microbial ecosystems, right? Because a microbiome's function is determined by the ecology of the microbiome, not just what microbe is there, it's what microbe is there in context with who else is there and in what proportion. Yes. She's a distinguished professor at Maryland University and Johns Hopkins, the 11th director of the National Science Foundation. Any professor that becomes a director of the National Science Foundation is at the very top of their field. What was incredibly impressive to me is the 800 scientific reports and publications that she has, along with 19 books, including textbooks. 800 is an insane amount of publication, right? I mean, some of the most decorated scientists published 200, 300, 400 papers in their career. 800 is a mind-boggling amount. 64 honorary degrees, right? 64, that's insane. And some of those includes the National Medal of Science from of President George Bush, Stockholm Water Prize, the Order of the Rising Sun from the Emperor of Japan, National Women's Hall of Fame. I mean, she's an incredibly well-decorated researcher, microbial ecologist, the absolute top in this field, right? And that is the kind of thinking and understanding of ecosystems that we need in order to really understand functionality in the microbiome. So there was nobody else for us to work with, and we don't have this kind of expertise, right? We know what we do really well. We also know when it's time to partner with people who know way more than we do about certain systems. And when it comes to microbial ecosystems and ecology, Rita is at the top of the charts. What's really interesting about her and the foundation of CosmosID is in 2004, following the 2001 anthrax outbreak, she chaired the interagency advisory committee between the FBI and the CIA to help track down the perpetrators by developing novel methodologies, genetic screening to figure out what bacteria they were using during the anthrax scare, the lineage of the bacteria, the source, where it comes from. All of these things became really important in finally tracking down the perpetrators. So her work in novel genomics and identifying bacteria creating IDs for bacteria was cutting edge at the time. This was back in 2004, so 16 years ago. And based on that work, that she founded CosmosID in 2008. And we, of course, started pairing with CosmosID around 2018. So we let them, not that we did this on purpose, but they had 10 years of perfecting their work based on her research and knowledge base, and clearly to us are the absolute leaders in bacterial identification through genomics, and then understanding and analyzing bacterial ecosystems. Right, so there isn't anyone that even rivals closely with Rita and the group that she's built there. So that's why we picked CosmosID, because if we're going to get into this space and we're going to start providing, analysis on people's microbiomes, we have to feel very confident that the work is top notch, that there's a significant amount of accuracy, that the work is validated through publications, and that what we're providing people has great utility to it. And the only way to do that is with pairing with the best in the world. Just like when we started the company and we launched our flagship product, Megaspore, we knew we wanted to get into the spore world. We knew we wanted to utilize spores in every possible therapeutic way they can be used. And we chose to pair with Dr. Simon Cutting, who is a preeminent spore researcher in the world. And as you all know, Megaspore has changed thousands and thousands of lives out there. And we continue to do research and find amazing effects from these spores. Why is that? Well, it's because we know what to look for, and we also know who to pair with when it comes to really making a difference. So Rita and her group at CosmosID are the best people in this space. None of the other stool test companies have this kind of pedigree behind the people that are developing the processes, the technology, and so on. So this is going to be leaps and bounds beyond what anyone else can offer. So that's why we paired with CosmosID, and that's why we've got this great exclusive relationship with them.
Yes, excellent. Thank you.